Hello, everyone. This is Jeff with the Cyber Pro podcast, where industry leaders share their insights. It's 5 questions in about 9 minutes because hackers never sleep. So let's jump in. Question number 1. Joe, in a few sentences, please tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, I am Joe McManus. I am the CISO of Drizly. I am in charge of all security for our online platform. Prior to that, I was the head of security for Ubuntu Linux. And before that, I was professor at the University of Colorado, where I ran the graduate program in InfoSec. I was a researcher at CERT at Carnegie Mellon for 13 years. And then, I'm an outdoor enthusiast, husband, dog dad, tinkerer, and picture taker.
Awesome. Question number 2. What is the best thing about being a cyber professional during these unprecedented times?
Well, the best thing about being a cyber professional is that in InfoSec, things constantly change. One day I'm writing policy. The next day I'm looking at code. I'm in the NIST framework, and then I'm dissecting packets with TCP dump. And then the next day I'm helping out the database team, securing the database, right? Things just constantly change in InfoSec. You're not going to get bored. You're not going to do the same thing 10 years from now you're doing today. And that's why InfoSec is such a great field to be in.
Couldn't agree more. Change is definitely constant. And on that topic of security, let's talk about that for a second. We hear every single day, obviously, this is the purpose of the podcast, that cybersecurity is not only a top concern, but it's only getting bigger. What does that mean to you?
Well, the reason cybercrime just keeps getting bigger, and we're seeing that right now during these, lockdown times, is because it's such an easy crime to scale. You're not going out to a store and robbing the cash register. You're launching a script. You're paying for a service. So, in the current landscape, it's pretty likely that your organization could be compromised or has been compromised. And, for me, that means that as the CISO, I need to get that message across, not just to the other C-suite, not just to the executives, but to every single person in the organization. You need to build that culture of security. So whether you're, whether you're in customer support, answering the phones, you're in finance, you're a developer, you understand security as one of your core principles. So you need to have that buy-in just from everyone. You want to get from that point where you're looking sort of reactively after the fact, before something goes into production, you're doing an evaluation, you're running a pen test. No, you don't want to be there anymore. You want to be at the front. You want to cross that Rubicon from reactive security to proactive security. And that's going to help you get in front of the mounting cyber threat, right? You want to be pulled in in the security department at the design phase, before the purchasing paperwork gets submitted. You want to get in early so people are going to reach out to you and say, how do we make this secure? What's the best way to do this? And that's really important. And that's why, when you hear that cyber is getting bigger, that you become that proactive security voice and, sort of evangelist in your organization.
Yeah, we've heard from multiple experts like yourself where they're saying that security is no longer an afterthought, but definitely a seat at the round table of the companies that they're with, and is a top concern that needs to be addressed, just like any of the other critical infrastructures in the company. So well put. Thank you for that. So question number 4, kind of the meat of today's podcast, is entitled The Group of Yes. Tell us what that means and share with our community how that's important to you.
So, this kicks off because I really want everyone to know that your cyber group has to be the group of yes. Sort of in the past, you might have run into security people that, the answer to everything was no. No, we can't adopt this new technology. No, we can't pull this in. No, you can't do that, because they were afraid of the risks it presented. And that to me is silly. When that happens, people work around security, right? They find ways to get around your organization. You get shadow IT, you get cloud services that aren't maintained by your DevOps or IT group. And so you want to be that group of yes. Very early in my security career, the head of our SCIF, our top secret area, was like, I love this group because I can be mean to everybody and they can't say anything about it. I thought that was just about the worst thing I ever heard. So security needs to be the group of yes. And so what I just talked about in your earlier question, Jeff, was, you want to be that proactive group. So when you become that group of yes, people are going to reach out to you. They're going to say, we want to build this new feature. Hey, we thought this would make it secure. What do you think? Not waiting till, hey, we've got this new merge request. Go look at it real quick and try to figure out what we did. You're getting ahead of that, right? So you want to be the group of yes. Someone's going to come to you and say, we want to build this. Your reaction shouldn't be no. It should be awesome. I'm going to help you build that. We're going to build it secure. And that's what the group of yes is. Security is done effectively when you become the group of yes, right? When you become that group of yes, security is in your DNA. And when you're from the ground up, when everybody's saying, how can we do this secure? You're going to get more people reaching out to you saying, hey, I saw this issue in our group. I think it could be a problem. What do you think? With as large an organization that people have these days, especially being remote, you can have cyber problems happening sort of across the organization that you just won't have eyes on, right? You're not all going through one proxy server. You're not going through one firewall. You're connecting it from home, et cetera. So you want to get other people's eyes to help you out. You want to get these sort of security deputies and all these different organizations of the company. So by being the group of yes, they're going to reach out to you saying, I saw this. Can you help us fix it? Not, I'm afraid to say anything, right? That group of yes will help you get to where you want to be. But then also, let's not forget, this is the second part of answering this question about being the group of yes, is that, we see new hacks. I think, recently I saw something where you could bounce a laser off of a Ethernet cable and you could, get packets out of it, right? You could do like whatever the modern equivalent of Van Eck freaking is. But security principles haven't changed much. The OWASP top 10 hasn't changed in a long time. The SANS top 20 still looks the same, whether it's IoT or whether it's cloud. Those same principles apply. So when you're the group of yes, just think about your fundamentals, preach those fundamentals to your followers in the organization, and make sure whether you're in finance, whether you're in legal, whether you're in customer support or engineering, they know that security will help them. They can go to them and find out the best way to make secure software, a secure organization, and secure processes and procedures.
Excellent. And we're for our last question real quick. We always love to end with this fun question because it gets a smile on everyone's face. Tell us about your favorite piece of retro technology.
So, immediately I thought about, the games I started playing when I was a kid, but I recently built a RetroPie to play old, Nintendo games on and Atari games. And I found that I was really bored by those games. So I'm going to talk about the piece of retro tech that I probably use most. Mentioned earlier, I'm an outdoor enthusiast, so I love bike riding. And bikes just haven't changed in the longest time, right? There's still two wheels and a chain. They might have an electric motor now to assist you. They might have shocks and be out of carbon fiber, but they're still a bike. So I like that because I'm not sure if you've tried to solve something, you're trying to automate AWS's API for a security perspective, and you're coding away and you hit a roadblock. Well, get out on that bike, go for a ride, especially working from home. I know so many people just work through lunch, work, sun up to sundown. Get out on your bike, get your old hiking shoes, go for a run, something like that, clear your head. And for me, that's the bike. And that helps me solve those problems because I come back to the keyboard and I realize I was missing the simple answer.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you for that. If people want to find out a little bit more about you or get in contact with you, what's the best way to do that, Joe?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, or you can find me on Twitter as at Joe McManus. That's probably the two best ways to find me. /network forensics on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time today, Joe. We really appreciate it. For the rest of you, we broadcast 3 or 4 different podcasts every week on different subjects. We look forward to seeing you here again. Again, my name is Jeff. Thank you and have a wonderful day.